How serious do high-level Amazon sellers actually take their businesses? Well, I think you'd be shocked at just how crazy it can get. And in this video, I actually show my reaction to 6 people being indicted in one of the biggest Amazon fraud scandals in the history of Amazon. I have a feeling that these people are going to get slapped and slapped pretty hard, and they possibly will be doing some jail time. Plus, guess what? I knew 2 of them. So we're going to talk about how I met them, the circumstances I met them under, and how this came about to be. Plus, we'll talk about some of their products on Amazon. While I cannot reveal the brand, I will talk about the actual niches that they're in, and we'll talk about a heck of a lot more. This is all about high-level Amazon and the dirty tricks some people do to get ahead in the game of Amazon. Like I said, people take this a little too seriously. So without further ado, I still got my hood hat on. Let's see how hood it can get in this video. Let's do this.
All right, so we're here in my screen share, and today we're going to talk about this actual article and react to this article about 6 people that were indicted in connection with a multi-million-dollar scheme to bribe Amazon employees. So why am I talking about this? Why am I so hyped about this? Because I actually personally know 2 of these people. I had dinner with them in Las Vegas, and it's kind of a long story, but it's not. I will say this, their brand was a brand that came out of nowhere on Amazon. They came from zero to hero faster than you can say the alphabet, and people were just up in arms, like wondering what in the hell were they doing. And now guess what? We know. Now reality is they probably didn't start on that bad track early on. However, at some point they were directed into that actual space. And I will say this much, there is so many people out there on Amazon that do illegal things. And what I mean by that is like not illegal things where they're like laundering money or stuff like that, even though there probably are. But I'm talking about like they do really black hat things to their competition. So what does that mean, Liz? You might be like, Liz, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. You're wearing a black hat and all of a sudden you're saying stuff about black hat and I don't get it. Okay, so what I mean is that let's say you have a product and all of a sudden you have a competitor that has a product and your competitor's product has like 5 stars and has like 1,000 5-stars. And next thing you know, you hire somebody to put 1-star reviews on your competitor's product. That is common. That is especially common in the very competitive niches, like the niches that these gentlemen were in. And while I said I knew them somewhat well, I didn't actually know what they were doing, and I didn't actually know everything that it involved. And I guess nobody really knew but them. But they were extremely successful, extremely arrogant, extremely cocky, and now it all makes sense. It clearly states their names right here, as well as 1 Amazon employee. So people are actually bribing Amazon employees to gain information. So what's going to happen? What did they do? What does this teach us about Amazon, and what should we do moving forward? Let's talk about that. So all in all, what they did, you can go ahead and read the gist of it. I'll go ahead and put the link below in the actual box. But here's the gist of what they actually did. Not only did they reinstate their suspended merchant accounts and product listings on the Amazon marketplace, which some people might say, like, I don't see what the big deal about that is. What's the big deal about that, Liz? Well, what happens is if you get suspended on Amazon, it could be an account, it could be an actual product listing. You could be down for days and days. One time, a long time ago, I want to say this was 2016, I got my primary product suspended the day before Black Friday, which I can tell you lost me thousands and thousands of dollars. These guys had an inside to be able to get those things unsuspended and to be able to get their accounts that went down unsuspended. Like I've had an account right now that's been suspended for over a month, and I've lost probably at least a couple $1,000s in profit. But these guys just had somebody that, boom, just like that, they would get them reinstated and their account pumping money again. And one thing that was extremely shocking to me was if you read this part right here, in total, after the fraudulent reinstatement, the products and merchants earned in excess of $100 million. That means that because of the quick recovery, these products and these listings and these actual accounts earn over $100 million. I don't even know if that's on top of their actual real sales volume, which is this aside from that, but just imagine those numbers, $100 million. And that's what happens when you start giving some cheddar over to the freaking Amazon employees. Like that's pretty crazy, but it just happened. It happened with this dude right up here. So this is the guy that they were bribing, Nishad Kunju, whoever in the hell he is. But let's go ahead and continue moving forward and see what else it says here. Fraudulent or facilitating attacks against competitors. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. People will purposely try and get your product shut down, especially if you come up legit and you're actually doing extremely well. Or even if you don't, let's say you're a black hat or two. There's a lot of black hat versus black hat competitions. And before you know it, people just explode each other's accounts up. and they're never to be seen again, or they have to battle back for years and years. I just talked about this on a podcast episode that I did with the professor of Amazon, and we talked about how a lot of people are just attacking one another and doing all sorts of malicious things, but it's happening on Amazon, and that's why you should remain with the most up-to-date information of what people are doing. That way you can combat and you can protect yourself. Now let's see what else they did. They misappropriated Amazon's highly confidential business information. So in other words, it was like they had the same information that Amazon did when they do things like pick products. So they could pretty much pick the best products that there are. And I even mentioned this company during one of the COVID actual videos that I did, where I talked about them having a hand sanitizer inside of Whole Foods, inside of Publix, which is a grocery chain here in Florida, and they were also ranked at the top of Amazon for hand sanitizer during COVID. But that's the kind of data you can get when you actually put enough money forward to an ex-Amazon employee, which might give you some ideas, but I wouldn't suggest it, because I'm pretty sure these guys are going to be made examples of, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go to jail for a long time. So they better not drop any soap. They better watch out for shanks and watch out for anything like that, because the penalty and the actual fine, as well as the potential jail time, are pretty much mind-boggling. And I do feel, and I'll talk about what I feel about what's going to happen with their sentence and all that here in a second, but here's another thing they did. They circumvented Amazon's internal limits on 3P accounts. Well, what does that mean? Well, particularly during COVID, Amazon put limits on accounts, so it became beneficial if you could get somebody to lift that limit on your account, or if you had several accounts. And I'm sure this is what this employee facilitated for them, so that when their hand sanitizer came into Amazon, there were no limits. They didn't have to wait to get their shit into Amazon. It was pretty much brought in with the red carpet rolled out, whereas people like me and you had to wait for our shit to even be allowed inside of Amazon. Nevertheless, be let into Amazon once it got there. So these guys had the red carpet rolled out for their actual products, namely their hand sanitizer, which is one thing that I saw, but I also saw a lot of other COVID related products, and it was because they were bribing the actual Amazon employee. And again, like I said, what do I think is going to happen? Well, truth be told, I think that they're going to make a example out of these guys. We've seen a lot of people like Sunday Riley get away with things, particularly with the FTA, if tells whether or not you're cheating in business and cheating with reviews. But the FTC, I think that's them. The FTC basically just gave Sunday Riley a slap on the hand for putting their very own Sephora reviews, and that's how they got so popular in Sephora. But hey, look what it's led to. They're worth millions and millions, potentially at some point billions of dollars. They're one of the top skincare companies at Sephora, and well, they weren't even really made an example of. They just got a slap on the wrist. But now we're dealing with some type of fraud, and so the FBI is involved, or some government organization is involved. So I feel like these guys are going to be made an example of, and they're looking for some pretty harsh jail time. So like I said, I kind of feel really bad for them, but again, that's how they came out of nowhere. We now know, and I won't reveal the name of the actual company, you guys, but I will say this much about what you have to arm yourself with moving forward. You have to be able to know what's going on in Amazon, what your competitors can do to you, and what you can do to fight back. So all those kinds of things are advanced level tactics, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk about this video. I will put a link also below to the typical mastermind that we hold once every couple months. However, this time we're doing it virtually online, so you can participate with high-level Amazon sellers that know how to protect themselves from this stuff, in case you want to ask questions and or comments about yourself. So I'm going to put that link below. It's very affordable compared to what we usually charge in person. This was by no means a way to actually sell that. I'm just going to put the link below that. Other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. I will see you in the next video.